Hey guys, Sass here. This is a quick, simple op heal guide for the beginner. Operative Heals is all about HOTS or heals over time. Operative Heals excels at AoE healing, proactively healing rather than awaiting damage to be taken. In this guide, I'll cover gearing, set bonus tacticals, as well as stats. I'll show you my utilities and briefly cover my reasoning for my choices, as well as giving you alternatives. I'll cover a priority rotation of heals and scenarios that require burst healing. Finally, I'll cover DCDs and evasive kiting that will help you survive as an op in PvP. Okay, so let's hop into it. The best in slot healing gear for Operative is by far the Tactician set. The other set bonus available is the Aggressive Treatment, and while fun, does not lend the same utility or overall heals that the Tactician set can provide. Once you have a 6-piece set bonus, find an Amplified Champion's gear piece to finish you off. This provides an extra amplifier slot on the gear and is the best use since the 7th piece Tacticians has no additional bonus. Since the majority of op healing is heals over time, or HOTS, periodic restoration is the amplifier best suited for this class. Tacticals are a fun new addition to 6.0 that allow you to customize your spec according to your playstyle. The options are boundless, but the most recognized tacticals are diagnostic probes, regenerative waves, critical surgery, and a craftable tactical called combat medic training. While regenerative waves has the most gross potential for HPS, or heals per second, I personally use diagnostic probes in most PvP content. I enjoy the mobility the tactical provides in PvP, as well as some greater single target burst healing opportunities. Ultimately, it's your choice and comes down to playstyle and content of the game. Look into theory crafting and try things until you find what works for you. Stats, especially tertiary stats, can be a divisive subject for healers. The main focus for stats in-game is meeting thresholds for alacrity and crit, as well as power. You'll need to augment your gear to meet these thresholds. Alacrity is a focal stat for healing, as it'll reduce cast times, and if thresholds are met, either 1213 or 3208, the base global cooldown can be reduced. It's not uncommon for some healers to run alacrity at 22 to 2400 to reduce cast times, though the GCD will not be affected. Extra alacrity will reduce the duration of your HOTS once applied. This means your HOTS will still do the same amount of heals while taking at a slightly faster rate. You'll have to decide what works for you, but ultimately the faster the GCD, the faster the APM you can achieve. High actions per minute are crucial to reaching max healing output, just as knowing priorities of heals and triage priorities are important. In terms of utilities, my choices are always based on survivability and greatest healing output. Some utilities are personal preference and playstyle, but others just feel required for operative heals. In PvP, I take nanotech suit, chem-resistant inlays, and curving strategies. These help me survive by giving me damage reduction as well as an accuracy debuff on my flashbang. Alternatively, you could take Slip Away for PvP or Infiltrator for PvE. In Masterful, I take Advanced Cloaking, Med Shield, and Fortified Kolto. I choose to use the Reduced Stealth purely as a way to use my med pack more frequently, as it's a strong DCD and it's available multiple times in a fight if Stealth is used. Med Shield is a gross healing increase and synergizes with a heroic tier utility to net even more heals. Fortified Kolto is a must, as it provides up to 6% DR when 2 stacks of Kolto probes are active on yourself. Endorphin Rush can be taken instead of Advanced Cloaking for a better energy return on Adrenaline Probe, and in fact I take this for PvE content. I choose not to take Evasive Screen, but it can cleanse you on stealth, making it more likely to leave combat, and is a viable choice for PvP. In Heroic, I take Escape Plan, Revitalizers, and Curative Agent. Escape Plan synergizes with Med Shield, reducing shield probe cooldown by 5 seconds, as well as a reduced cooldown on Escape. Revitalizers is a must in my mind, as it not only adds a personal heal to stim boost, but also 20% DR for 15 seconds. Curative Agent gives you a quick way to apply a double stack of probes, while also restoring health and making Kolto Infusion hot. Invasive Operative could be taken, but there's few white damage classes, and the cleanse is less important in my opinion than any of the aforementioned utilities. There's no set rotation for heals, but rather priorities and heals that apply buffs worth keeping active. Arguably, the most useful and important of the operative arsenal is Kolto probes. This is your longest ticking hot and can be going on multiple targets at one time. The next heal that I will stress the importance of is a recuperative nanotech. This is your AoE smart heal, capable of healing the target and 3 allies with the lowest health that are within 10 meters. This heal should be used on cooldown or as close to as possible because it also applies a buff called Invigorated, increasing all heals taken by 3%. Pick your target wisely to maximize the amount of people healed. I like to choose a melee person or position myself to spread it over a distance. Surgical probes are an effective way to refresh HOTS and maintain energy. When using the Diagnostic Probes tactical, you can build up to 3 stacks of tactical probe, making Colto Injection activate instantly. This heal will also return a tactical advantage every 10 seconds. Use this often to refresh probes. Colto Injection is a heal that will provide a TA, and with Diagnostic Probes tactical can be made instant after 3 uses of Surgical Probe. It's one of the larger single target heals for Operative. Colto Infusion is another single target heal. It outclasses the injection when used for burst healing because of the Curative Jolt passive, making the next Surgical Probe 100% crit chance. This heal can also be used to refresh Colto probes, but it does require a TA to be activated. Additionally, Colto Infusion gives you a resistance buff, giving increased internal and elemental DR. Colto Waves is a channeled ability that heals up to 8 persons in an AoE heal. People have to remain in the AoE to receive heals. This is a strong heal that can be buffed by using Regenerative Waves tactical. This heal is most effective on groups of people 3 or more and is often interrupted in PvP. You can combat that by maxing out your rolls for an unshakable buff. Be uninterruptible for 4 seconds. Diagnostic Scan is your weakest heal but costs no energy and will return energy on critical heals. It should be used sporadically throughout a fight to maintain energy levels and can be used while moving. Toxic Scan is an Operative's cleanse and can be used to remove tech and mental stuns. It also heals for a very small amount. Operatives shine when a group is taking sustained damage. Burst healing is tricky, but there is burst to be had in Operative healing. As stated before, the Curative Jolt passive gives 100% crit chance on Surgical Probe following a Colto Infusion. So in Scenario 1, my teammate is taking focus. It's sustained and I'm able to anticipate that it'll continue. I have HOTS or Colto probes on the target. I have my nanotech applied and the buff is active. From there I might cast Colto Infusion and follow with a buffed Surgical Probe. If I needed more heals, I would use a Colto Injection, made an instant ability by using Diagnostic Probes 3 times. Refreshing my Colto probes with Surgical Probe frequently will ensure I have stacks of Tactical Probe when I need the Colto Injection instantly. In Scenario 2, my teammate took burst damage that was unexpected and I need to recover their health quickly. This time I'd Stim Boost, Nanotech, Instant Colto Infusion, buff Surgical Probe, followed by an injection if need be. Stim Boost will be passively healing over the 15 seconds it's active as well. It's a great boost for when you're focus healing a teammate but have some heat on you. Plenty of times there's more than one player taking damage and it's the healer's job to determine a triage order. Maybe it's the DPS with no more DCDs available, or your tank. Knowing who to heal and prioritizing will make all the difference in a fight. Wasting your burst into a Juggernaut that just hit ED will cost you when another DPS needs those instant heals. Unfortunately, Operatives have no stun DR available and are particularly susceptible when hard stunned. Healers in PvP have much more survivability with a tank or a group that will peel off enemy team members. However, there's no reason not to play even if solo. With DCD management and some quick kiting, you can survive as an Operative healer. It's important to know when and which DCD to use in any given situation. Shield Probe will absorb damage and will give a small heal when taking Med Shield utility. It's versatile and can be used basically on cooldown as damage is taken, or in preparation for damage. Evasion will negate all melee and ranged attacks for 3 seconds, such as Sniper Ambush and Merc Blazing Bolts. It can also be used against some melee classes, such as Assassin and Marauder. Evasion will also cleanse dots, roots, and slows, making it a valuable tool when kiting or when using stealth. Cloaking with dots still applied on you will cause your cloak to fail. Cloak can have a cooldown of as little as 1.5 minutes with advanced cloaking utility. Cloak will immediately make you invisible to enemy players, and as a bonus, since you left combat, if even for a moment, your med pack will be refreshed and able to use again when the cooldown is complete. Another advantage to using Cloak is that on the exit of stealth, you'll be granted 2 tactical advantages. The Revitalizer's utility makes Stim Boost a very strong DCD. It provides you with personal heals as well as 20% DR for 15 seconds. Stim Boost also grants Enduring Kolto when activated, making your next Kolto infusion or Kolto injection activate instantly. A new ability added in 6.0 is Tactical Overdrive. This will reset the cooldown of Stim Boost, Recuperative Nanotech, as well as your Shield Probe, and increases mastery for 20% for 15 seconds. Curative Agent adds a small personal heal to countermeasures, making it a DCD that can heal for up to 10% of your health. Your mobility abilities, such as Exfiltrate, better known as Roll, and Hollow Traverse, help you kite enemies. Maxing out an Exfiltrate also has the advantage of making you unshakable, meaning you're immune to interrupts for 4 seconds. Hollow Traverse, while sometimes buggy, is an amazing kiting tool because you can use it to move to a friendly or enemy player. On top of that, there's a speed increase applied for 3 seconds after, making you 75% faster. Your best bet is to find a target standing outside of the group and hollow traverse out to them, making a large gap between you and your attackers. Flashbang can stun targets for up to 8 seconds. It will break on damage, including any dots a target has on them. Paired with Curbing Strategy's utility, Flashbang will leave behind a 20% accuracy debuff for 8 seconds on targets affected by the Flashbang. Debilitate is the operative hard stun. When paired with the Slipaway utility, the cooldown can be reduced by 15 seconds. Don't forget about LOS. Line of sight your attackers and use walls, pillars, and other objects to cancel abilities casted at you. The player will have to reposition to attack or change targets. All of this to say, a healer's life in PvP is never easy. I won't say these abilities, tips, tricks, or utilities will keep you up 100% of the time. It's impossible to heal anyone on your team if you're dead, so prioritize yourself and keep yourself alive. Keep at it. Op heals can be overwhelming and can be difficult to master. I know I still have plenty to learn. Above all else, enjoy yourself, and I'll see you in PvP. I hope you found the information useful, and thank you for watching. I'd like to acknowledge all of the brains in the Theory Crafters Discord for crunching the numbers and providing the community with mathematical facts. I'd also like to acknowledge Billy Potatoes, as his written operative guide was in-depth and informative and has been my recommendation to all op healers when asked about a guide previously. Thanks to all of the operative healers that gave me their input on tactical preference and all that have helped me grow since I started operative healing. I have much to learn and intended this guide to be a basic beginner's guide. I hope it served its purpose and look forward to seeing you in PvP. Feel free to join my Discord and ask questions and start conversations. Link below.